Hello, you are listening to Between Sets. This is Fuzz.
And I'm Mike.
How are you doing? How's your week been? We are recording this a week in advance again because we're so organised. So we've got to pretend that we've had a great week.
It's been a tiring week. I've been on one, basically.
Is in this week or the week in the future that we're trying to predict?
Hopefully both, but definitely this week as a minimum.
What have you been up to?
Well, today's Friday, and I've done so far this week 10 training sessions.
Is in yourself or?
Yep.
Wow, absolute beast mode. Yeah, all because of a meme. If you listen to the previous episode, it's all because of a meme, guys. And the meme was again?
I'm the pilot of a flesh suit.
That is literally it. Like these little triggers that can just turn us into superhumans.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling overly superhuman at the moment. Like, I'm feeling pretty battered, but get on with it. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just a flesh suit, Mike. That's all it is.
It will do as I tell it to, basically.
Yeah, you are the pilot.
Exactly.
Do it.
How's your week been?
Yeah, busy, really busy. Hopefully, by the time people are hearing the podcast, no pressure on myself, I should be fully qualified as a personal trainer, which is exciting news. Jesus. A lot's happening, Mike. Is there cats destroying stuff?
Yes, in a word. I mean, I can't even be too annoyed. Like, it's using its own cat toy. It's just chosen, like, it's been silent all evening, and it's chosen now to be a dick.
Welcome to Between Sets. We call our cats dicks.
Yeah, I love them, but holy Jesus. They have
yeah, well,
so you're going to be qualified PT. Yeah.
Yeah, by the time, hopefully, people are listening to this in a week's time, which is exciting. And I just want to give you, Mike, a massive shout out in front of everyone listening. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, I definitely wouldn't be able to have qualified so soon. I say that. It's taken me a good few months. But and obviously you've inspired me to be a PT, so
thank you.
I
mean, I appreciate that, but I mean, it's literally my job, so
yeah. But the thing is, now you've signed up to be my mentor, probably for the rest of my life. It's going to be like Kung Fu Panda. I'm Kung Fu Panda, and you're like the weird koala guy.
I'll take it.
Is it a rat? I don't know what is that animal?
Sifu. Sifu.
Is it Sifu?
I think it's called Sifu, which is
or
just
is it
master,
the turtle?
Right?
There's a turtle in there as well.
I don't know which one I'd rather be.
I think you're the turtle, mate. Actually.
There's a weird phrase he goes on about with peaches. I need to learn that.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to learn it. Okay.
For our next PT session.
Yeah, I'm gonna be done.
But yeah, so that's quite exciting news for me. And then I can finally put that aside and just crack on with building that side of things. People have been so supportive as well. Like, if you don't follow me on @PTFuzz, please do. I try and upload a few reels each week, and I've got some really good support with that. I've been attending some classes, so I'm trying to go from basically a bodybuilder as such, just weightlifting, to try and balance that out with a bit of a HIIT workouts and endurance training, which obviously I've not done for years. And it's if you want to see a fully grown hairy man sweat like nothing else, then please join @PTFuzz on Instagram.
You do have.
The thing is, I sweat so much
it's an ability. Like,
it is an ability. Yeah. And there will be there'll be merch coming out soon about how much I sweat. Like that's gonna be my trademark.
Did you ever watch the Nickelodeon series Avatar, where you're the water benders?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's like, I mean, there's a version of it which has come out on Netflix recently. But essentially, you've got people that control the four elements. I'm just kind of thinking, well,
that's like an anime thing, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. But
I definitely can't control the elements. I cannot control my sweat. There's no control. If I could control it, I wouldn't be sweating. The thing is, it's the lack of hair, mate. I tell you.
But you say this, but I don't think my hair gets overly sweaty.
No, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you think I would rock a sweatband on my head? I don't know if I'd rock that. I don't know if I could get away with that at the gym.
Give me some other options. Like, what are some other things that people...
Other options? Guttering. That's what I need, mate. Fucking guttering on my head.
Where's that shit going, though?
This is a guest episode. I'm not sure if we've mentioned that already. We're 7 minutes in. Yeah, guest episode. Another guest episode for you guys, if you're listening. If there's any listeners out there, which there should be now. So we've got the founder of Dadspace, His name's Denver King. Like that name alone that's like a hero's name,
It's
isn't
a
it? That
really
sounds
cool name, man.
it is. I reckon he changed it for advertisement purposes. We'll ask
I
him that
mean,
question.
I'm pretty basic. I'm just a Mike, right? We're a
Mike
dime a
McGee
dozen.
does sound like something out of a story, though. Like that's like a name somebody's made up. Mike McGee, like a police officer in the force.
Blimey.
Anyway, sorry, we're going off on a random tangent on stuff. But yeah, guest episode. We'll get back to the guest. So we've got Denver King. So he founded. I don't know when he founded Dadspace, but I just want to give you like a little inkling before he joins us. But Dadspace is something I discovered last year. Well, my wife did actually, funnily enough. But it's really difficult from my side of things because I've always wanted to attend one of their events. And in my head, and I did say this to Denver, I said, I've always wanted to attend one, but I've had no reason to. Because like you kind of think it's a charity, you don't want to be wasting people's time, you don't want to be wasting people's space, or like if you're taking someone's slot that actually needs the like, do you know what I mean, the class or the meeting because they're struggling as a dad, then you kind of think, oh no, I shouldn't go. But actually, no, it's nothing like that at all, right? It's just it's perfect for anyone and everyone, no matter what position you're in, or situation you're in, financially or mentally or whatever. It's just a really good opportunity to just basically get out of your house without your kids and I just have a word with other dads and just have a chat. Like obviously, being in Kent from Milton Keynes, it took years to really get to know anyone, to make friends. So it's a really good opportunity for people like just like that, where you're a dad and you got no dad friends, or because as dads, I think we're just, or even as men, I would say, we're quite not
Shit.
afraid, but yeah, we're really shit at being social,
We are.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's taken 30 years of my life to actually just go, right, I'm going to be social because life's too short, and you never know who's going to be laying on your deathbed. No one at this rate.
No. No.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I mean,
So
I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
bit
I
dark, bit
feel.
dark, bit of
I
a
don't know.
dark introduction to Dadspace.
I think there's a bit of a psychological element there. So, and you might notice this, right? So, stereotypically, when my wife meets up with her friends, they all talk about what's going on in their life, what's going on in their work, what's going on with their friends and family. What's like they'll talk about literally every single thing. And like when I ask, "Oh, how was so and so? What did you get up to?" "Oh, we just talked." And they'll talk about every single thing that's gone on since they last saw them.
Hmm.
More often than not, when guys meet up, like, "How you doing? You right? Yep, all good, cool. Any problem?" Like, and it's very much that. It's a
Yeah.
very like surface level sort of interaction.
Until you've had a few
Essentially.
beers and then you start opening up,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But what I noticed, like, I very rarely meet up with people these days to just see them. Like, there's always an activity. Like, we're always going somewhere, always going to do
Yeah.
something, and I feel like that's just kind of how guys operate, essentially. Um, which I think that's probably how Dad Space kind of works. You mentioned you went for a walk with them, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly that. So I
guys
kind
are more
of,
open to talk when they actually go to a place to do a thing. I think.
yeah, he does. He's really good at creating that atmosphere, creating that environment. And he posted a video about this the other day. It's when you've given dads the right environment, they will talk.
Mm,
And he does that. He does a really good job of doing that. I won't lie to you. I know I've only attended one, but obviously it's quite a successful thing that he's doing. There's quite a
mm.
lot of people in the dad space sort of family that I didn't realize there's actually loads. But yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for if anyone, like if there's dads listening to this podcast now that haven't attended a session, or I don't know why you can call it sessions. It is literally just a meeting, and he does a really good job of posting reels and stories and stuff. But it's really hard to kind of portray what Dad Space is for people because it's for people that like it's for different reasons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think on that as well, like you mentioned, not turning up if you don't have any particular issues or anything, but you might actually be the one with an answer. So you might have gone through
Exactly
something
that.
like that before. And if you've come through the other side, suddenly it's a lot easier for you to kind of have a solution to that than someone who's currently struggling with X problem, you know?
Exactly that. Yeah, that's a really good point. And yeah, so if you do want to join, you might find yourself actually helping multiple people.
Hmm.
So it's quite rewarding for you. But yeah, no, it's really good. I'm looking forward to kind of hearing Denver's story as well. But obviously, you're not a dad, so for a lot of listeners, we might have a few new listeners for this episode. Mike isn't a dad, so it might
Nope.
be quite nice to have like a different perspective
Hmm.
on things when you're listening to these answers. But will you be a dad? Is there other plans for you to be a dad
I
at
have
some
no
point?
idea, dude. I mean,
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I guess my thing with this, and I don't know. I guess I've talked about it a little before. Is like it's not for everyone, but I see my issues as kind of my issues, and I don't know. I kind of see myself as getting stronger each time that I deal with an issue like myself. And I'm
mm,
not saying that it's for everyone, and some people should absolutely be reaching out for ask for advice. But I'm interested to see his reasons for wanting to start it, and what types of people kind of go along to these. Like, I'd imagine it's from quite a wide range because you know, loads of people are dads, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's like a common theme as to why people come along to it, and that's what I'm interested in because it's not something that I would go to. So I'm more interested in
Yeah, no, I mean, but the
the
thing is, people
reasons
go
for
through,
that.
like, I'd say 5 years ago, I was the same. I was
Mm,
quite, I had the same sort of perception as you. It's like, these are my issues. I'll only be
mm,
stronger if I deal with these myself. But then I have a different perception of that now. And it's very similar to like learning because it is like issues are just opportunities, right?
mm,
To learn. And obviously, you learn a lot more by getting together as a team and sharing ideas and sharing experiences and like reading stories and like even when we're talking to these people, these guests, like I've learned quite a lot from these guys.
mm.
I've only had a few guests now, what 5 or 6 guests now,
Yep.
but that's exactly it. And those sort of inspirational stories can help you deal with those issues as such, right?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I know what you mean though. It's like being open about your issues and like you kind of would you say like you kind of have a perception that it makes you feel weak? I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think on the one hand, I think it's if you do have issues which a lot of people have, but aren't necessarily talking about, whether you have kind of a moral responsibility in a way to actually talk about it. Like
Mm,
if that has some way of helping people, especially if you have some kind of platform. Not that we
yeah,
exactly have a platform at the moment, but I don't know. As much as I don't like the term influencers, and I like because they have a lot of followers, do they have more responsibility to talk about certain things without it coming across as like, oh, I'm trying to gain a viewership, if that makes sense.
yeah. No, I think social media is probably not the best platform to be
Mm,
um, trying to inspire personal stories,
mm,
but I don't know. Like, why not? I guess like if you're able to portray it in a non sort of it's all about me. I'm only telling you this because I want more followers sort of way.
yeah.
Then yeah, if it comes across genuine, then it's quite hard nowadays. I would say.
Mm.
Like I'm still learning myself to talking in front of the camera, not coming across like a complete dickhead. Do you know what I mean? It does.
Yeah, how's that going?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it's going okay actually because it was quite nice. This today, one of the classes that I went to on Wednesday, the trainer Abby has asked for my reel, like the raw files, and she wants to
Oh,
post it on
nice.
her own Instagram. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's
sweet.
nice. At least it's like that just tells me like there's no way you're going to be wanting an awkward bald guy talking in front of a camera. Do you know what I mean? She's obviously enjoying it. I'm obviously entertaining. Fair enough. Go share it with your friends.
Yep.
Here's Denver King, the founder of Dadspace. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Good stuff. You're looking very professional with your little background as well.
You
You got
like that?
your
Yeah.
board up. You came prepared. This isn't your first rodeo.
No, it definitely is. It is the first one, yeah.
Oh, is it? He
Interesting.
knows what he's doing. He he knows what he's doing. Anyway, so yeah, to quickly explain what Dadspace is.
Yeah, so Dadspace is basically a support place for all dads to talk, listen, and share experiences of fatherhood in a safe environment.
Yeah, and what I noticed, I was just explaining this before you came on actually, is that you're very good at creating that environment, no matter where it is. Like I've only been to one of your sessions. I want to try and rename it. It's not really a session. What is it? Well, how do you
A meetup.
meet? I said
Yeah,
your meetup definitely
yeah,
comes.
yeah.
Yeah, because a session sounds like it's for people that need support or are really like desperate for it, but actually you can just turn up, whether whatever situation you're in, whatever position you're in, sort of thing.
Yeah,
But
no, it's that's basic. I think it's true. I think it is definitely for people who really do need the help, like who are really struggling. But equally, it's for all dads to connect with other dads as well, create friendships, ask questions. It really is all that. It's really bringing the fatherhood together.
it's really good. And what made you sort of start Dadspace then?
So that would be really from my own experiences of becoming a father, and I think I had a lot of questions that I had going around in my head that I didn't really speak to anyone about, really, like not even my friends, really, because a lot of them had already had kids, and I think I had worries about financial worries about whether I could support my family as a dad, as a man, whether I'd be a good father. Um, and lots of things really. And I kept sort of thinking to myself, well, where can I go and talk about how I feel? Because I want to make sure that I can be the best possible dad I can be, and be the best partner to my wife. That was something that I was very conscious about, especially in the early stages there, understanding what she's going through as well. And I thought if I'm on the right page, I can be so much more support to her as well as the kids.
So basically, you couldn't afford a therapist, and I'm just joking. I'm winding you up. How many kids do you have?
Two girls.
Two.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to rewind back a bit then. So when you were a kid, but like, what sort of interest? What were your interests when you were a kid? Do you remember? Like at school?
When I was a kid, I'd like to say football, but that I didn't get into football till I was probably about 12 years old, actually. So, as an interest, before that, I'd probably say I've always been quite active. I always enjoyed PE and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hanging around with mates, riding a bike, getting into trouble.
Did you study anything after school? Did you go to uni? Did you go to college?
I didn't. No. I went to college. Sorry, yeah, I did go to college. Yeah, straight after school. Yeah, I didn't go to uni.
What did you
No.
study?
I studied leisure and tourism at college. Yeah, which I found.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the intention behind that?
I don't know. I can't remember now. I think it was just the easiest thing to go into. I think at the time.
It's normally the case, isn't it? That is normally the case. No, Mike, remind us again. What did you study at school? Did you leave school and then?
Me, so I went
Yeah.
to university after school. Yeah.
Oh, you
I
did.
studied
Yeah,
biochemistry and genetics.
I forgot you were a nerd. Completely forgot about that. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So what age did you kind of say to yourself, right, I want to be a dad at some point, or did you always know that you're going to be a dad?
I think I'd say I've always wanted to be a dad at some point in my life. I'd say it probably become more apparent. I'd say when I got into my late 20s, and I sort of I was thinking about it more then when I met my partner Nina, my wife now. It was around then I'd say that I definitely wanted to have kids then. From that point, yeah, late 20s, early 30s, yeah.
And can I ask what was your dad like? Has he inspired you to be the dad that you are today? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've got a very good relationship with my dad. Yeah, I'd say he's my role model. Yeah, he's someone that I've always looked up to. Someone that I'd always say, like, my superhero is my dad. Do you know what I mean? When you look at superheroes, I tell you that my dad's definitely that. And we've always got on really, really well as mates. He's someone that all my mates regard as a friend as well. Do you know what I mean? He's the sort of guy who come out for you with a beer. He's a lead singer in a band. Do you know what I mean? So
he's a cool dad.
Yeah, he's a cool dad. He's a cool dad. Yeah. So no, I definitely would say, yeah, he's inspired me to be a good dad and he's always been a pretty emotional guy, my dad as well, and I think that's rubbed off on me, which is a good thing. I think that's was probably
he's a musician. Of course, he's emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that's probably helped me with Dadspace because I'm quite open about my emotions and about how I feel. So I think that's definitely helped me with doing things like Dadspace, being open about those things and being able to talk. Because I think it sort of then creates that environment for the guys that are there to feel like, well, this guy here seems to be pretty all right with you talking about his feelings and stuff. It puts people at ease a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of what we were talking about before you come on, actually. Because me and Mike, like, I
Yeah.
definitely went through a phase a lot of the time in my life where I kept my issues to myself, and I don't know why. It's really hard to explain why. And like looking back on it, it's almost like questioning whether is it because it's showing weakness, or is it because it's showing that I can't cope and I can't be independent. But yeah, it's really hard to kind of explain. Like Mike was saying, like you're the same, Mike, aren't you? You try and keep your issues to yourself because what was you saying
Yeah.
again?
I mean, I'd say I'm and cards on the table. I'm still very much there now. I'm not going to take anything away from people that want to talk about that kind of stuff. I see my problems as my problems, and they're for me to resolve. If that makes sense, I don't know why that is. That's just how I'm wired, I guess.
I think dad, because like Mike's not a dad, and I do feel like I'm a different person. I wouldn't say I'm a complete different person, but just being a dad, it's like literally as soon as you become a dad, it just changes things. I think it changes your perception on life, and it allows you to start becoming your own role model because you know you're going to be a role model for someone else soon. I guess if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that without a doubt.
I mean,
Um,
I had a few
yeah.
questions. What kinds of people do you find come along to Dadspace? I'd imagine it's going to be quite varied, right? Obviously, people looking to talk about things, but do you find they come from like loads of different walks of life? What's the sort of backgrounds like?
No, it really is that. We have everything from expecting dads. So you have a expecting dad coming to our session, and he's got a bit like myself, really. Hence why I started the whole thing up. Is that whole early stages and that, and he'd come along, might be asking questions about how to help his wife, and financial worries, just lots of things going around in his head. And the guys don't go there to get the answers. Well, they might wish they, but we don't offer advice or anything like that. It's really sort of like life experiences. So you find like where the more experienced dads have been there, they can offer that support because they've had the life experience of being a dad. Um, so yeah, expecting dads, brand new dads, single dads, stepdads, granddads, and dads with
Okay.
kids who have grown up now, who are teenagers or about to leave home. So it's initially when I started it, it was going to be just for new dads and expecting dads because that was my situation at that time. But then from speaking to a lot of friends who've got older kids, they're saying like, well, why is it just got to be for the early stages? Because it doesn't get any easier when you get when they get older.
Yeah.
It just gets different. So you have different things to deal with, different situations. So that's why I thought to myself, no, it needs to be inclusive. It needs to be all dads that can attend these sessions. Yeah.
I think brotherly support definitely is like the best tagline because that is basically what it is. And like I moved down from Milton Keynes. I said this to Mike earlier. I moved down to Milton Keynes, and if I was a dad at that point, I definitely would have found Dadspace a lot earlier because when I moved down, I didn't know anyone, and it took me years. Like being a typical male, you just don't really socialize, and when you're a dad, you kind of need that. You need to get out of the house. You need to, and Dadspace is like the perfect opportunity. And what's really good is that you're listening to everyone else's stories that are dads to so many different age groups. And the one that I attended, there was quite a few. It was quite emotional because there's girls and boys who are reaching their teenage years, and I couldn't even imagine that, and I don't even want to because it's emotional just thinking about like having that relationship, almost feeling like you're losing control over your child, and you're watching them turn into this adult, and you kind of you're losing that like relationship. Like it's evolving, but in your head you're kind of thinking, oh, it's you're losing it. And I don't even want to think about that. But it's amazing that I've almost been like I've heard other stories, and now I can prepare myself for that. So it's really
Yeah.
good for that. It really is.
Getting ahead of the curve a little bit.
Yeah, kind of, and just making friends as well.
It is,
Sure.
yeah, it really is that. It is really a friendship, bringing guys together and going. Do you know what? We're all part of this brotherhood, and it's all right to get together and talk. And we sometimes we'll meet up, and it's more of a social thing. Like we do evening events as well sometimes, where it's like we'll have our circle, which we always make sure that's there for everyone to talk. And then we might go for a drink afterwards. So do you know what I mean? So it's that social aspect to it as well as like our other events, which are purely based around sit down talking, where we've been guests in and stuff. So it really is the whole thing rolled into one. Yeah.
Mike,
There's
do you have a
something you
question?
said. Yeah, you said something a little bit earlier where you said, you kind of started this up because your friendship circle was, they'd already had kids like a few years earlier and things like that. Have you found that any of your friends have wanted to talk to you about anything since you started up Dadspace? Because I think if you'd have been if you'd have spoken to them about it, how would that dynamic have changed? Do you think?
Yeah, good question. I've always I've been quite fortunate with my group of friends. Like we've been friends together since we was about 15. Some of them a bit longer. So
Wow.
we've always. I am very aware that I'm very fortunate with that. Do you know what I mean? Because not everyone's got that.
It's
But
really
that's
hard to
where,
stay friends after that time. I feel like
yeah,
being a parent makes or breaks so many relationships, even
yeah,
even the actual relationship.
yeah,
Like it is tough. I've lost friends since becoming a dad because
yeah,
you want you're on completely different mindsets, especially if they're not a dad. Then
yeah,
you just can't relate, and all you want to talk about is your child, don't you?
yeah.
Like, especially for the first few years. Like Mike's sick of me bringing up my son's name. I swear to
I think,
you.
yeah, I think we're probably quite unique. I'd say like in that respect with my friends. Some of them aren't dads. And a lot of us are, and yeah, like I say, I'm very fortunate, and this is why I'm glad there's something like Dadspace now there because not
Mm,
everyone's got that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
that does provide dads with that friendship there as a solid base to me. And yeah, in terms of do I feel like I've sort of spoke to them more since having kids? Yeah, I'd say it's probably the same because our relationships have always been like that. I think
Hmm.
a lot of them have always said to me that your dad space is perfect for you because you're one of the most honest people that I know, that we know as a friend. I've always been very much a heart on your sleeve type of guy. So and I think that's why this works for me because I just lay it all out there, which sometimes can be a bit too much, sometimes because I show a bit too much emotion. But then again, as I've got older, I find it helps letting it all out.
Yeah. No, it is good. And what's great about that is that it sets the environment up. Like it allows people to go, actually, if he can do it, like you're setting a standard basically. If he can talk honestly, then we can all talk honestly.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope that helps. Yeah.
I definitely felt like that in the session I went to anyway.
Oh, good.
But what year was it when you started it? How long has it been around?
So I would say now. So I started the first ever session in November of 21.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's like a COVID baby.
yeah, so it'd be about 3 years coming up now to when I first started putting bits together of like how it's going to work and bits and pieces like that, and actually how Michael, who's the other director who you've met,
Yeah.
that relationship actually come about because my wife cuts his wife's hair. And she said, look, when I was thinking of I needed to get a logo together and a design. She said, oh, Michael might be able to help you with that. So she put me in touch with Michael. Michael helped me with the design, come up with all that with the Brotherly Support
Branding and stuff.
Fathers,
Yeah.
branding. And that was that. And then that relationship sort of went from there. And he then ended up coming to one of the sessions just for, oh, I'll come and see what it's all about. And basically bought into it. And basically our relationship has sort of grown from there, from him helping me with
Oh,
a
that's
logo
awesome.
design. It's just
Yeah.
gone boom, yeah.
How long has the idea been around for? Like, did you think of it and then just crack on with it there and then, or did you kind of like was it in a buffer mode for a while
Yeah,
and then you just triggered?
it was in a buffer mode for a while, um, and it was. I would say that COVID definitely had an impact on me going ahead with it because I had a lot of time at home thinking about it. Kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and I discussed it with my wife Nina. We'd be sitting there talking about it, saying this is how it could work. There's got to be something out there, and I did a fair bit of research on what was out there that was being offered to dads. and there seemed to be a lot of online platforms, which is great. There didn't seem to be anything really sort of that physical element, and so I sort of kept thinking about it, chatting to my wife about it quite a bit, and then I phoned my good friend Amit and had a chat with him about it as well, and he discussed a bit more about how it could sort of the format of it could work and help me with that as well. And it was really sort of at those 2 points, from speaking to my wife and speaking to Amit, that I remember the day almost like that lightning bolt moment where I went, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. This is, I stood up and I went, it's still in the middle of COVID. I'm going to do it. And that's when I sort of ploughed forward. And I just decided to get the logo and that sorted in the summer of 21. Did a bit more research, put some surveys out there and bits and pieces, found a venue to do it. And then by that point, I think in that November, COVID had just started easing. So they were allowing people back into pubs. It was still touch and go whether they're going to go back into another lockdown, actually. But they didn't, unfortunately. So I just rolled with it. I thought, right, I'm just going to put it on and see who turns up. It could be at risk of no one coming.
And how did that first one go?
I had 15 guys come.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
for the first one, that's mega, yeah.
And the thing was...
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was... And the thing was... I've massively overdone it with my material that I had because you don't know what, I think I need to have this, have that, but obviously as you go on, you learn what you need. You don't need anywhere near as much stuff because ultimately it's talking and you add a few bits in. But I had loads of material and stuff, and I remember thinking to myself, right, we'll go round now and we'll let these guys talk. And I'm thinking, we could be done here in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? We could. These guys say, yeah, John, Steve, blah blah, and I'll be like, right, okay, great. But by the time I think we'd gone round about 2 or 3 guys in, one guy had just completely let out a load of emotion about something that particularly happened with maybe a birth of their child or something that he hadn't even spoke to his wife about. And then it was like a snowball effect. So then then the next guy goes, and it was like, it was definitely a moment of this. I realised that this was more needed than what I even realised until I did that session. Seeing the guys open up and holding stuff in for years because they didn't want to burden their wives with it or anything like that, and they didn't feel as though they should discuss that because what they've gone through with the birth and all that sort of stuff. But they're holding all these emotions in as a man, and to see it all come out, you can see the release just come off of him. So it's quite a powerful thing.
That is amazing, isn't it? Like it's in a way, it's kind of unfortunate. We're talking about the evolution of Dadspace soon, but like it's unfortunate for people. I know a lot of people in Milton Keynes that could benefit from Dadspace. I'm not sure what the long-term sort of plans are for Dadspace, but it is definitely required across the country. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that is the goal. Yeah.
And how would you do that? Would you try and like find sort of mentors to guide it and grow it across different counties? I guess.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, because obviously I can't be everywhere as such. But yeah, for example, in Ashford now we have a guy called Pete who now runs the Ashford branch for us. So we put together an ambassador pack for the ambassadors, which they follow, so they keep to the guidelines of Dadspace and they follow our vision and values, and that seems to work really well. Yeah, so I think ultimately it would need to be ambassadors that we would put in place in different locations as and when obviously I'll get them going myself, but obviously long term I'd have to have people running them for me.
I imagine like these sessions are obviously like beneficial for you as well, like talking about stuff that you're going through. Do you ever find it like emotionally draining on yourself, like helping other people constantly with these sessions, or do you find helping other people with problems kind of a boost to dealing with your own?
Yeah, both really. So yeah, I have had counselling sessions myself, just to obviously, because where you are listening to a lot of stuff and that, I think it's definitely I need that release as well. So yeah, I've definitely had help with that as well. But equally, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing that you're making a difference. You know, when you're there and you see guys and they're able to, even if you can help them 5-10%, if they've come in feeling like a 1 and they've left there feeling a 3 or a 4, even that's good. Do you know what I mean? I think there's nothing more rewarding than that, without a doubt. I love to be able to. It doesn't feel like work when you're doing that with Dadspace. Do you know what I mean? It's you're doing something back, and it's just helping people, which is great.
Yeah, it's been a few years now. So, has there been any points where you've kind of gone, "Oh, I don't know if I can continue with this"?
I've had times where I might have questioned myself, where it's got tough. There's been times where it's got tough. When you sort of go through that first year and you go into year 2, you know, you're sort of going through a few things and it's getting a bit harder but I've never felt that I want to pack it in or anything like that. I've never felt that. I've always felt like this is the right thing to do, and and it will get there. Yes, I've had times where I've sort of stepped to myself and questioned myself, but I think that's the chimp.
I think we all do, even in our
really.
jobs.
Yeah.
It's an imposter syndrome thing, isn't it? I guess
It's that getting
but
involved.
that just shows that you are passionate.
Yeah. I think I'm quite. You could say probably quite stubborn, maybe with it in some ways. You can or driven, because I refuse to sort of give up. Do you know what I mean? And I've been lucky, you know, because we get a lot of guys come to our sessions, and that because of the way we do our sessions, we try to offer something different for everyone, for all dads, to get that engagement. So no, at times don't get me wrong, I found times where it's been hard, and you're sort of like, you go through, you question yourself a bit, but in my heart of hearts, I've never ever doubted that what we're doing is not the right thing.
And you've managed to build up such a large pool of brothers, I guess you could call them, which is absolutely amazing in such a little time. So whatever you're doing is amazing. You're doing amazing by basically broadcasting it, but also you're doing amazing because it's a charity. You're running a charity. You're helping other dads off your own back, theoretically.
No, thank you.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. So just a massive well done, and obviously keep doing what you're doing. I wanted to, before we start asking questions about how it all works and stuff, I kind of wanted to give you an opportunity to tell the story that you told me, and I'm not sure how we can really blend it in now, but you told me about an amazing story when you wanted to do like a boxing event for the first time.
Oh yeah. So
because that was really emotional. I don't know how you can tell us. I'm not sure if it will tell it the same way, but with the way that you told me the other day, it was amazing.
Yeah. So it actually, I can't believe how much time's gone. Actually, it will be 5 years ago, next month, in fact, that I did a white collar fight, and it's basically through off the back of that. It's the gym that I still attend now, which we hold Dadspace sessions in, actually, which we can get onto later about them. Fitter, Stronger, Faster Gym, and I think I mentioned to you as well. Dom will be a brilliant guest for you to get on here about his story.
Yeah, definitely. We'll look into that.
Professional MMA fighter, and his whole journey, and now how he runs. He's got his own gym and stuff. But yeah, we can get onto that. But so I've always been a fan of boxing. I've always followed it. You know, I remember me and my dad getting up in the early hours of Sunday morning to listen to Mike Tyson v Frank Bruno in 1989. We didn't have Sky or anything like that, but we had a little portable radio. So Dad got there, and I always remember sitting there in the armchair together listening to that. Yeah, just like listening to the commentary. And so I've always followed it, because my dad's always followed it. So it's always been something a bit of a passion, like to watch. But never have I ever tried it out or anything like that. And my wife had started going to the gym at the time, and she come back and said, "Oh, they're going to be doing a white collar event at the gym." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Yeah, I quite fancy that." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah. I think I might give it a go." So anyway, it was like I think it was a 10 or 12 week program that you basically signed up for. So you go in and do the whole training program at the gym, and honestly, honestly say it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Do you know what I mean? Of going through the whole process of getting punched in the face for one, like that, and just the whole training, the fitness levels you have to get to just to do a white collar fight is, pretty intense stuff. And I can remember a particular moment where I was sparring and it wasn't going very well. I was taking quite a battering, and I went off to the toilet because I thought I was going to be sick. And I remember sort of being over the toilet, and I was just I started crying because I was just like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. This is just too hard. And I sort of stood there, got up, I stood there, and I said to myself, right, you're either going to walk out that door now and turn and don't go back in there, or you're going to go back in there now and carry on. And it was a very, very defining moment for me where I was like, because I've always been one of those guys who's always gone for the easy option with things. Do you know what I mean? If something looks a bit difficult, I go, this job looks a bit more my level. I won't. Lots of things like that. I've definitely been that person. Do you know what I mean? I think that people can relate to that, and I've always been that person, and I'm quite.
It's the comfort zone. I call it the comfort zone.
Yeah, comfort zone. But I went back in, and that's the first time I was like, no, you're going to go back in there, and I finished the sparring, and I did okay in the end, and I come out of there, and I knew at that point that I was going to finish the process, the whole 12-week plan, and I got through it all, and I had the fight, and I lost the fight, but I didn't lose the fight. If you understand, if you know what I mean, I won. I overcome that battle with myself. I think of achieving something, going through a process.
Because that is intense as well.
Yeah, taking yourself to the dark place and that, and I felt like a winner. I really did. You know what I mean? I come off there and I was crying, and a lot of my friends and my family are thinking, "I said, all right, you've done really well, then." But I said, "No, I'm not crying because I'm sad because I lost. I'm crying because I'm happy. I'm happy that I completed it, and I was filled with joy, and I honestly say I still think about it most days now about going through that, and I can honestly say I do not know if I would have started Dadspace if I hadn't put myself through that process, because I don't know if I would have had the confidence to say, I'm going to do this. And that was
because you saw what happened, because you didn't give up.
And didn't give up, and it's like, if I can do that, I can do this. If I can put myself in the boxing ring and go through that process, I can do this. You'll be all right. You can take yourself to that dark place if you need to. But I felt like I'd grown as a person from doing that, without a doubt.
That's amazing. 100%. I do love that.
I think the key thing to take away from that one is when you've got to do something difficult but you have zero option, you've got to get on and do it regardless. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, it's happening, right? But you had every option there of walking out of the gym, of giving up. Nobody's forcing you to do that. And that in itself is character building, because it's self-motivation. Like, no one is forcing you to go back out after you've just been sick in a toilet and continue getting punched in the face. No, it's not a sane thing to do when you think about it, you know? But yeah, you get a few moments in your life, I think, which will be character defining. I think it depends. And it doesn't matter if it happens in the first one or the second or the third. It's just that you face it at some point and go through it, and then it gets easier from there. You know, willpower isn't something that gets depleted as you do difficult things. It's something that gets stronger. It gets easier the more you do it.
No, I 100% agree with that. And it was that whole particular moment there in that toilet. It was a lot more than boxing. It wasn't just about me going back in there. It was about me saying you can achieve something. You can do more than what you do. It was really that. It was that really moment of, I think I could just remember it, and I was just like, no, actually, for once, then, but you are going to put yourself into a place, and you're going to go through it, and you're going to do it. And I am proud of myself for doing that. Yeah,
you should be. It's amazing.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
And sorry, just quick change the subject. What do you do for a living? Because obviously, I'm assuming Dadspace can't be your full-time gig. I'm assuming.
No, it's not. No. So I work for a company. We're like, install satellite TV, but predominantly in retirement homes in the retirement sector.
Okay.
Yeah, so I run the office, so I run the office and I schedule the engineers' work and things like that, and sort of a general manager as such. Yeah.
And I'm assuming you've been doing that throughout Dadspace sort of career.
Yeah, I've been there for 6 years or so. I think 6-7 years. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, before Dadspace started. Yeah.
And what is the long-term goal there then? Is Dadspace ever going to be a full-time thing for you? Do you think? Is that a hope?
It's a hope. Yeah, I think ultimately for Dadspace to grow, I need to be able to devote more time to it and have the time and funding to allow us to do that. Because at the moment we are, we obviously run our sessions in Maidstone, and we've got Ashford, and we've got Sevenoaks. To sort of go to that next stage, it needs more from me. It needs to be able to do that.
How does that work financially then? Is it government funding? Like, is it? I guess it's just treated like a charity.
Yeah. So what we are, we're a community interest company. So we've got similar. We can still apply for funding and stuff like that, like a charity does, but we're on a much smaller scale. So we're not open to as many grants as a charity is. But there are certain other things that work in our favour and things like that. But it's a non-for-profit company, basically. Yeah. So
yeah, because you've never have I seen you on social media or even in person ask for money or ask for donations, which is quite rare for a charity, really. But that's what makes it so inviting.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I might have forgot to ask for donations on the last one, but no, I never ask for it. I always say to the guys, if anyone wishes to donate, we do have two ways you can donate. We have a card machine, and people can donate cash, but it's something that's there as an option. We never sort of like say, "Can you please donate?" It's always there as an option if anyone wishes to, because we're very passionate that we want Dadspace to be not, tied into any financial barriers for people to come along, because everyone's financial situation is different. And I want to be able to know that all dads can come to those base level meetings at no financial cost. But obviously, if they wish to donate, then obviously that's a massive help to us, because obviously we got to keep the running of Dadspace going.
No, definitely. And moving on to how these work, then. So I know you hold quite a lot of different events, right? Are those what help you fund as well? Then do those require donations? Or are those also free?
So pretty much all of our sessions are free. Yeah. So we fund. So basically funding, like grants and that we get, is obviously what allows us to keep going. We've had a small pool of funds that have come in, but we're hoping to hopefully get some sponsorship, and obviously get some larger grants, which will allow us to do more, which will hopefully then allow me to do more. So it's really a combination of like sponsorships and grants. And if if we can get a big name behind us, something like that believes in what we're doing, that would be great for us. That would allow us to do so much more.
Wow. Because I know you do like football events and stuff, don't you? Five-a-side?
Yeah. So there are. So we've done a few events, and the football was like a charity fundraiser. So how we managed to raise some money there was through the players who played in that would pay £10 to be part of the game,
Nice.
which everyone's more than happy to do.
Yeah, because you would pay that anyway just to play a football game.
Exactly, yeah. And we was very fortunate that we managed to get sponsors to cover like the pitch, hiring the pitch.
Oh wow!
And bits and pieces like that. So that was almost covered. So then whatever money was made from the players playing and people coming to watch, I think we charged
uniforms
like
as well,
£5. We did manage to get ourselves a proper kit,
Wow.
which we use now. So we managed to raise. I think we actually managed to raise between two charities, because the other team that we was playing against, the other charity, which is a child's obesity charity, we managed to raise over £2,000 for that event, which was amazing.
That's really cool. Yeah, so just more of them, I guess, because they sound fun.
More of them, those sort of things. And we also did, like last year, a summer garden party in our venue in Sevenoaks. And for that, again, they're brilliant to us over there. They give us a lot of space there for dads. And we did a family event over there with live music and stuff. We managed to raise quite a lot of money from that, from selling tickets, doing raffle prizes and things like that. People donated. So again, that raised a fair bit of money as well. So yeah,
is it like a secret garden in that one?
Yeah,
what's it called?
Yeah, Rutes, the Lost Gardens.
See, believe it or not, I was there. That is when I was hoping to introduce myself to you.
Oh, you come to that?
I was like, yeah, I came to that. So yeah, it was quite a while ago now. Yeah. I'm like, do I want to, or like, should I? Because I don't feel like I need it, but I really want to meet other dads. Do you know what I mean? I was in that sort of place.
Yeah.
So whoever's listening to this, and if you've never been to an event yet, like, it doesn't require anything. Just like anything, it's just like going to the gym. Just get off your ass and go check out Denver King. Just because he's got an awesome name for starters. But yeah, go check out Denver King. They are good. One thing that I really do want to do and get involved with. See, I'm not really a football player. Mike, do you play football?
No, God, no.
No. Mike's gonna have a go at me for this, but I'm a massive basketball player. So
no,
I would love to.
No. The last time he played basketball, he ruptured his Achilles tendon, and he's never touching a basketball again.
True story. But no, seriously, I really want to play another basketball match. So it'd be awesome to get involved, maybe organise a basketball charity fundraiser thing with you.
Absolutely.
Just to give me an opportunity to play basketball, basically.
Yeah.
We've got gym sessions as well. So how does that work?
Yeah, so like I say, that gym that I was just telling you about there, Fitter, Stronger, Faster Gym, that sort of come about because Dom's done quite a few bits on the gym about the positive impact exercise has on not just your physical health, but your mental health as well. And it's something that I really sort of started thinking about. And I thought, well, that's another good way we could pull guys in to our sessions. But I'm always constantly thinking about how we can, the sit-down events that we do are great because that's the real sort of core, which we've got, we got tomorrow. But you're not going to get all the guys coming to them. You need to tap into things like exercise, walking, football matches, all these different types of things. And so yeah, we tried them. We did a couple of them last year, and it was brilliant. We started off with an exercise session for the guys, and before they all walked in, I asked them to rate themselves out of 10 how they're feeling, but not tell me. And then once we've done the exercise session, we then done the talking piece circle, so we still had that there, so everyone can go around. And then I asked them then to then tell us what they felt when they walked in and how they feel now. And it was amazing. Like nearly everyone was like some of them might have been 2s or 3s or maybe 5s. Nearly everyone was like an 8, 9. Some were 10, even some 11s.
Wow.
In fact.
Yeah.
Do one of my sessions and it'll be going the other way.
It would be good to get involved in, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally next week I should qualify as a PT, so that'll be quite good to get involved with.
Oh, brilliant.
So I've never seen you advertise those gym sessions on social media. It could just be me being blind. But
Yeah,
how often are they?
We probably do about 3 or 4 a year.
Oh, okay.
The last one we did was at the end of January, and that was at our first ever Dad Talks. So you might have seen that. It was a guy called Big Phil that we had come along.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
yeah, so that was his story, which is a whole new thing that I've added to our sessions, the Dad Talks, which is about real dads, real stories, inspiring stories, life-changing stories. I think it's, and that's something I'm very passionate about, that side of it there, because I think that's there's some real stories out there that need to be told. And so we did that. We had Dad Talks there at the gym, and then we combined that with a pad work session for the guys with the boxing gloves and stuff like that, and it worked brilliantly, yeah.
That's awesome.
Next one's in June, I think. Next one's in June, yeah.
I definitely will be involved with that. So you got gym sessions, you got walk and talks, which is what I think I went to, right?
That's right.
So that was really fun. I've never been there before. That was absolutely amazing. I've never seen a wild deer, let alone 50 of them running at me. That was an amazing experience.
Yeah. It's a beautiful space, isn't it? Yeah.
That is. I don't even know where we went now. I just followed my sat nav.
Yeah.
But then you got family meetups as well.
Yeah, so back over over Rutes, the Lost Gardens of Sevenoaks, like I say, we do the once a year summer party, which we'll do again. We're going to do at the end of August actually this year. But throughout the year, there we do Easter event, which is actually going out the day after this podcast goes out on the 30th.
Okay, yeah.
30th of
Yes, I've seen that actually. Yes.
yeah. So that's over. We've got Easter, we've got our summer party over there, do Halloween events, and we do Christmas events over there. So they're really quite unique because they sort of it's an opportunity for the dads to then bring the rest of the family along as well. So we get a chance to meet the kids, we get a chance to meet the partners, you know, the whole family unit. So they work really well. It's just giving that other side of it, just to show that we're not trying to say that it's all about dads being away from your family. That's not what Dadspace is. It's about, you know, embracing being a dad, and then it's getting an opportunity to then see the family unit and come to like a family session, you know.
But that can't be free, surely.
That is free. Yeah. So basically, the guys at Router,
Wow.
Simon is very. We've been friends now since I started Dadspace, probably about 6 or 7 months in. Simon contacted me and sort of said, "Look, I've got this space over here. Do you want to come and have a look at it? I'll be more than happy for you to come and host some sessions here and stuff like that."
Wow.
And it sort of evolved from there. And he's a dad himself, and he's very passionate about wanting to give back and allowing us to be able to grow that. So they're so kind to us over there, and all of our venues are, we're like back at Dom's place, like that. We don't charge any of the guys there to come to his gym sessions. He gives that space, his time.
There are some absolutely amazing people in the world.
We're very lucky like that.
It's unreal, yeah. Like just completely selfless people, like yourself. To be fair, like it is amazing. And I've started to network. So I could become self-employed at the beginning of this year for the first time ever. So I'm attending so many networking events, probably three a week, which is just unbelievable. So much talking, and I've got this podcast each week. I'm surprised my voice hasn't gone yet, but I've met some absolutely amazing people that in their spare time, just helping people and building relationships with, and you know what I mean, like yourself. It's unreal. Like I do need to. I think I just need to get out of the house more. That's my problem. That's my issue. That's a me problem though. But yeah, so we got dad talks and guest speakers, which I think after our last conversation, it would be amazing to have that as a podcast sort of platform to allow more people to kind of listen to those. I think, or even get them recorded and then uploaded somewhere. But I think those sort of things, they just inspire and they just help people get through what they kind of, what's the word? They change their perception on what they're currently going through.
Yeah.
And realize there's actually massive problems in the world and I'm complaining because my PlayStation's broken or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it. And I think it's, what's the phrase? The frog or the toad in a well? You know, they can only see that portion of the sky when actually there's a whole world of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true because I mean we did that first Dad Talks end of January, like I say, and you can see the guys who are listening to it, and they're just like, it really hit them hard, and they're like, it's really made them reevaluate their whole home situation and how much they were like appreciated what they got. And that was what I really was trying to achieve because I'd heard Phil's story. By accident, because I had the idea of Dad Talks when I was in the gym talking to Dom. You can go on our website actually if anyone wants to see the full Dad Talks with Big Phil's on there, so everyone can see that on there. So I won't ruin what it's about because I suggest anyone should go and listen to it and watch it.
Yeah, go on dadspace.co.uk, guys. Yeah, it's a really good website as well. It's quite a lot on there.
No, thank you. And I was in there, and I'd say I've been thinking about this idea for a while. Dad talked to me and Michael, and we're like, we're trying to launch it. And then I could hear this guy, Big Phil, in the gym, and he is big as well. He's about 6'6", this guy. And I was like, what's the story there? And then Don was telling me, and I was just like, he needs to be the first one. That he needs to be the first Dad Talks. And it's sort of like, and Don goes, I think he'll do it like that. And I was just like, right. And it's funny how you get these things that happen, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Where it's all sort of like that. Boom, boom,
My dad
boom.
always taught me, when I was a kid, if you're going to start something, always start on the biggest guy in the room. It sounds like exactly what you did. If I'm going to start this, I'm going to start with that fucking massive guy.
Yeah, exactly. I've gone big. I've gone big Phil, first one. And yeah, so then I, myself and Michael, we had a few chats with Phil and he told us the full story. So then we had a structure there. So we had some questions to ask and it went from there. And it was, like I say, it's a powerful story with a happy ending, and seeing the reactions on people's faces when they're listening to it, and then how they are at the end, it's just quite a powerful thing. And like I say, we bring professionals into our sessions, like ADHD coaches and relationship coaches, which I think is very, very important and a real good thing that we do. But equally, real dads telling real stories is just as important.
100% agree with you. But yeah, for the listeners, so yeah, dadspace.co.uk. They're also on Facebook and Instagram, right? At the minute, anything else?
We're on LinkedIn as well and TikTok.
TikTok. I want to see Denver King dancing. That's what I want to see. Is there any? Is there any of you dancing on there? Not yet.
Not yet. No.
No. But if that's what it takes to grow, guys, Denver will done. I'm just joking. I'm not going to.
Don't be peer pressured, Denver. He makes you do stupid things on video.
You ever seen me dance?
That is what I do. But yeah, just search Dadspace. It should come up quite early on. I'd say there's no other Dadspace in there.
No, I think if you search dadspace.co.uk, it comes up with it pretty quickly. Yeah.
Cool. No, it was absolutely amazing having you on.
Lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your thoughts, Mike? Do you want to be a dad now? Has it changed your perception?
I'm still dealing with two knobbish cats like that. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
If I can crack that, then we'll talk.
Have you got any animals, Denver?
Guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. Oh wow! I've never met someone with guinea pigs before. What's that like?
It's brilliant.
Is it indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor, no. So we've had these guinea pigs for what is it? I think 4 years now, and basically the kids aren't interested in them anymore. And basically, I get the job every weekend of cleaning the whole thing out and giving them a complete clean. I feed them. Do everything really, pretty much with them.
Because it's one of those things that I'm not really a cat guy, but that cats and guinea pigs definitely fall in the whole you can't really take them for walks. You can't really share emotions with them. How does it work? How does the relationship work? I don't understand.
We was told that guinea pigs were a good pet for little ones to start off with. I think that was the whole thing with that. But the thing is, my daughters, they're they're dog lovers. They really want a dog, and I'm holding out at the moment. I don't know how much longer we can hold out, to be honest.
I know what you mean. We went the opposite way around. We had 2 dogs before we had our child, and we were kind of going, "Oh God, this is going to be a bit scary," because obviously these dogs have never seen a baby before, and the baby's not seen anything before. I don't even know how this is going to work, but it was absolutely amazing because the dogs knew my wife was pregnant. They just knew there was a baby inside. It was very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an amazing combination, I'd say, because especially because they're lap dogs, so they're quite playful, but they're small. They're not going to hurt the little one.
Yeah.
So if you are going to get a dog, I'd definitely look at a miniature Schnauzer or something like that, quite a small.
Okay.
You wouldn't look back. That's the thing. Once you're a dog person, you're always a dog person. I can't turn Mike. Mike's already a cat person.
I love dogs. And I love cats. I love most animals except horses. They don't like me. I don't like them. It's a thing.
You can't really have a lap.
Cows are okay. Yeah.
Are we going through the whole animal kingdom now? Are we? Is that the thing we're doing? No,
horses and goats. Don't like goats either.
Goats,
Spawn of the devil.
Yeah.
I don't know how we ended up ending on this segment, but let's end it there before we embarrass ourselves. It's not Old McDonald's farm, all right? I've heard enough of that already. But it was really good to have you on, Denver. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Denver.
Is there any future events you want to quickly promote before we end it?
So we've got the one at Easter at the Rutes Lost Gardens of Sevenoaks on the 30th, Easter weekend, which is a Saturday between 10 and 12. And then the next one will be Tuesday, the 2nd of April in Ashford. You can book all the tickets on our website, www.dadspace.co.uk.
Happy days. And you can see all future events there as well. So if you want to look at, well, I guess how much in advance do you kind of book these in?
I think at the moment there's probably only about 3 or 4 events on there at the moment, but it's just a case of, because of the admin side of it, just getting them all up there, really.
So I would recommend, if you're listening to this, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, keep up to date with the news that way. And as soon as there's an event booked in, sign up on the website. Absolutely. But yeah, thanks, Denver. I really appreciate your time. Have a good weekend. Good luck tomorrow with you got an event tomorrow, haven't you? Yeah, good luck with that. And we'll hopefully see you soon. And that was Denver King, the coolest name in the land.
Yep. What a nice man.
A genuinely nice bloke as well.
Yeah, just the only way to really describe him, really, I think. Really nice bloke. I think that's kind of what you want, really. If you're going to talk about feelings and stuff, you want someone who's going to be quite understanding and quite empathetic, really.
Especially that, yeah. And a good storyteller.
Yeah, definitely.
He should be on CBB's Bedtime Stories. You don't know what that is, do you? But he needs to be on there. That was a really good guest. We're just smashing these guests out. It's really good. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And he's already recommended the next guest as well. So I'm going to have to get in contact with him. I forgot what his name was. Dom,
yeah. I think Dom, yeah.
From Fitter, Stronger, Faster in Maidstone. Happy days. So that's one thing I need to add to the list. The next guest we actually have on is a lady called Bex, who is probably the strongest woman I've ever known.
Yeah, I was looking at her Instagram page earlier. Fair play.
Absolutely fair play. Yeah, she's a business owner. She's a strong woman. She's got her own sports massage sort of therapy business. So if you want to check her out beforehand, it is Iron Amazonian on Instagram. We're going to be having her on next in 2 weeks' time. So that's quite exciting. But yeah, we'll see you next week. Well, me and Mike will have another catch up. You'll have come back. No, you would you have come back from your holiday? Yes.
So this one is going out next week. So the next
episode gets confusing now, isn't it?
I will just be back from Somerset.
So we'll have Somerset. We'll have some Somerset stories from Mike, and we're looking forward to the stories. Don't forget, when you're going out and about on holiday now, you got to think about relaxing, but you've also got to think about getting content. Right? Right. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for listening to the awesome podcast. Bye.
Bye.